We're up an average 46% on our previous cannabis stock picks, with GW Pharmaceuticals jumping 80% on a buyout. In this video, I'll show you how to find marijuana penny stocks for even higher returns and highlight 5 stocks to buy right now. We're talking cannabis penny stocks today on Let's Talk Money. Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue here with the Let's Talk Money channel. I want to send a special shout out to all you out there in the nation. Thank you for spending a part of your day to be here. If you're not part of that community yet, just click that little red subscribe button. It's free and you'll never miss an episode. Nation, cannabis companies are about to become legit, and U.S. federal legislation that boosts the industry could be just around the corner. That could bring a boom in funding, liquidity, and higher stock prices. Now, we jumped on that trade in cannabis stocks last September, highlighting the coming legislation and investor sentiment. I highlighted 3 large cap cannabis companies in that video. 3 stocks up an average 46% just in the last 6 months and still heading higher. A 2019 Pew Research poll found that 67% of Americans favor federal legalization. 15 states already have legalized recreational use, and 36 permit medical use. And none are facing the kind of apocalypse that you might expect from legalizing such a horrible, dangerous drug. And the biggest changes here are still coming. A change to the banking law, something that was passed in the House last year, and other federal regulations, and eventually the potential to list on the exchanges, which could mean a wave of investors into these stocks. Because you see, most marijuana stocks, they can't trade on those established exchanges like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, so they trade over the counter in that OTC market. Now that severely limits the institutional money that can flow into these stocks and the opportunity higher. But when that changes, it's going to be the penny stocks that are going to benefit most, the companies under $1 billion market cap that are going to see investors jump in. Those are the cannabis stocks I want to highlight in this video. I'll start with a simple screener to find cannabis penny stocks, show you how to invest, and then highlight 5 penny stocks to watch in this theme. Before we get started though, I want to get your opinion on this. Are you investing in marijuana stocks yet? And if not, what would get you to invest? So scroll down and let us know in the comments, what do you think is keeping most investors from getting into this theme? Now, to start our search, I'll use the screener on Webull, and this is just a basic penny stock screener that I use whenever I'm looking for these small cap stocks. I'll start by selecting a few of these industries that I want to search for cannabis companies. Those in the retail, food and beverage, and in the consumer place. Now, probably the most important screen here is selecting companies with a market cap of $1 billion or less, but usually I like to limit these to even smaller companies, maybe ones under 500 million or less. Now finally, I'll change the price screen here. And our share price doesn't really make it a penny stock. It's really that company size that matters. But I'll move the slider down here to only those stocks under $10 a share. I'll be putting each of these penny stocks into my paper portfolio on the app. And Webull gives you $1 million on its stock simulator to test out your strategies. It's a great resource for following your stock ideas, and you're going to find all these OTC stocks on the app. First on our list of cannabis penny stocks is one of the smallest, $75 million Bevcana Enterprises, ticker BVNNF on the OTC markets and BEV in the Canadian exchange. Bevcana is a white label end-to-end solution for cannabis beverage companies, including cultivation, processing, product development, and bottling. That gives it a lot of business flexibility across the supply chain. The company owns a 40,000 square foot HACCP certified facility in Canada with bottling capacity of over 200 million annually, along with a 100-acre outdoor cultivation site. It's been aggressively signing partnerships and acquisitions to position itself as that cannabis legislation opens new markets. The company acquired e-commerce platform Pure Therapy in September to expand into nutraceuticals and cannabinoid-based products direct to consumer. Another partnership late last year with the top infused beverage company in the United States, Keef Brands, which offers 8 of the top 10 selling cannabis beverages in Colorado and 2 in California. That's going to see Bevcana act as an exclusive licensee, manufacturing, and distribution partner for the Canadian market. Now, the company is still building that revenue stream, so there's a lot of opportunity here, but also a lot of risk, as with any of the penny stocks that we'll talk about. A lot of the market cap here is backed by assets, about 55 million in assets, including that bottling facility, cultivation site, and an alkaline spring aquifer that supplies all its water resources. It's got about $500,000 in the on-balance sheet debt, so plenty of financial flexibility to see these projects through. Now, I'll leave a link in the video description below to the company's investor presentation, so check that out. In retailing, we have $250 million ALCAN Inc., ticker LQSIF in the OTC market, and CLIQ in the TSX. The company is a retailer of wine, spirits, beer, and cannabis with over 270 retail outlets in Alberta, Ontario, and British Columbia. Its Nova Cannabis brand sells dried flower and pre-rolled, as well as infused products and vapes in more than 30 stores. So this one isn't quite as directly tied into that trend of cannabis legislation in the US or the cannabis market in general, but it is a nice diversified play into wine and spirits with that marijuana story upside. Now, ALCAN grew sales by 21% in the year through 2019 to $650 million and has hit net profitability this year with 34 cents per share. Now, that puts the stock at about 18 times on that price to earnings basis and just 0.35 times sales. The balance sheet isn't quite as strong here, though, with just $10 million in cash and $280 million in debt, but it's a stable cash flow business. Planet 13 Holdings just grew out of that penny stock market cap, but it still very much has that penny stock feel and the opportunity. The company has 2 retail locations in Nevada and another opening in California, along with in-house brands, a wholesale operation to 45 dispensaries, and 3 cultivation facilities. That all makes it an interesting vertically integrated company to take advantage of every stage from cultivation to consumer. And I really like this superstore experience here that the company has developed, setting itself apart from those small retail operations. The company saw more than 1 million visitors in 2019 with $63 million in sales, nearly a tenth of the total Nevada cannabis sales. Management is forecasting 17% annualized sales growth through 2025 to $1.5 billion in Nevada sales alone. I think they should be able to grow total sales well beyond that with a planned 55,000 square foot store in Orange County. Now, this is going to be very much a proof of concept and funding story. The company has just $140,000 in balance sheet cash against $884,000 in long-term debt, so it's going to need to find that funding, but if it's successful, it wants to open 8 more superstores across the country in the next 5 years. Now, it's a little more expensive here at 17.8 times sales, so some of that potential growth already priced into the shares. But this is more than just a retailer and checks a lot of those cannabis growth markets. InWave Corporation, ticker NWVCF, is another smaller company here at just $135 million market cap, and its patented radiant energy vacuum technology that accelerates processing across the food industry, but with special applications for cannabis and hemp, including increased retention of terpene and cannabinoids. The company benefits from a multi-stream income approach of licensing royalties, machine sales, and its own packaged goods subsidiary, NutraDried, that's sold in over 25,000 stores across North America. Total revenue took a hit last year, but still posted $33 million from just $23 million in 2018. Now, InWave booked 88% sales growth through 2019 and should be able to rebound to that growth this year as things get back to normal. Now, like we saw with ALCAN, cannabis is more of an ancillary play here. The company is expanding its drying technology into cannabis and hemp processing, so not a pure play cannabis penny stock, but a diversified play on that technology. The smallest penny stock on our list, $55 million General Cannabis, ticker CANN, and shares just under $1 each. The company is a full-service cannabis consulting firm and kind of a private equity fund seeking to buy cultivation, manufacturing, and retail opportunities in Colorado. It owns a 17,000 square foot greenhouse operation in Boulder and has helped growers win licenses in 14 states, as well as designing over 100 cultivation facilities. General Cannabis did close a $3 million equity round last June for funding from Hershey Strategic Capital and Shore Ventures, though the balance sheet is a little more stretched here with $730,000 in cash against $4.9 million in debt. Now, it does have revenue here, booking $5 million over the last 12 months, so trading at about 11 times on that price to sales basis. Click on the video to the right for the step-by-step guide to investing in penny stocks, my strategy, and how to invest. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.